Alright everyone, how are you today? It's me, Shane Lee. Um, I'm gonna tell you what I plan on doing for the next month. The first one is I have a Kempo Karate DVD. It teaches you yellow belt techniques for Kempo Karate. Um, it's right here. And they have an online study course, which I'm gonna do. Um, and I'm going to start working on the DVD. This one is Kempo Karate, and this one here is Shidaru Karate. Now, this one is Volume 2, this one is Yellow Belt, which is Volume 1. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the katas on this video, and I'm going to work on the Yellow Belt techniques on this video. And then at the end of the month, I'm gonna, since this is an online course, I'm gonna try to test and see if they'll accept me as a yellow belt and go up in rank in the system slowly as fast as they'll allow me. And now they might tell me to wait a few months and after my initial test, and that's fine too. But again, we'll see what happens. Now, Shidaru doesn't have a testing system, but I'm just going to study this as well. Now, I also have other DVDs. The Ninja Defense. Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, also Aikido, also Aikido, also Aikido. This is just a karate video by the same one who did the Shidaru video. This is Ultimate Kempo, which is a little bit different than Ginpo. But it's the spirit and techniques of Kosho-Ryu. This is Samurai Akijitsu. This here is the Essential Karate book. This is Akijitsu Hidden. And this one here is Taijutsu Ninjutsu. This one here is Wing Chun. And I got, where is it? One more over here, this Tai Chi. As well. Yeah, right. Maybe under it. There it is. And this one here is Tai Chi. And I've also got a Tracy's Kempo and an Ed Parker Kempo as well. This one here is Ed Parker. And then my tray. This one here is Tracy Kempo. Now, I have books for both these styles, and a little bit for Jiu-Jitsu, and a little bit for Shidaru, and a little bit for the other styles as well. The Wing Chun and stuff like that. Now, what a DVD does, is it teaches you how to move similar to the person you're being trained under. Now, you might ask why all these different styles. Because no one style can teach you everything you need to know in any one given situation. And each style has its own unique principles and its own unique forms. And now, if you want to understand all martial arts and how to properly defend yourself, you have to know how to fight the fighter you're fighting, regardless of his style as well. And if you can't do that, you're not going to defeat anyone but yourself. And, I think that's part of Bruce Lee's message. There is really no style in martial arts. There's only self-defense. And if you don't know what style another person is using, how can you defend yourself against them unless you can fight similarly to them when you fight them? And, now, also, if you know what their fighting style is, you can also learn to combat their style to where you can defend yourself accurately and be prepared for any move they might would make. And that's part of what I'm trying to teach you here. Now, of course, my main videos right now, and what I'll do is I'll alternate every other day, is the Shido-Ryu and the Kenpo karate. Because with this one, I might can get up to black belt in this style. And, now, the other videos I'll just go over periodically once a day throughout the month. But I'll keep repeating those. Now, some might have more than one, so what I'll start doing is watching them all gradually. Now, this one here is a 2-hour video, and this one here is just a CD-ROM. But I also have the book associated with it, and I also plan on getting more DVDs on Ed Parker's system as well. Now, the difference is, Tracy's system is a little bit different than Parker's system, but they're all from Kenpo, or Kenpo. There's also a style based upon Jeff Speakman from the movie, what was it called? Sorry, drawing a blank. He started in, I think it was 90-something, 93 or 94. The Perfect Weapon. Right. Well, that also involved Kenpo karate and showed it versus other styles like Taekwondo and stuff like that, Aikido. And of course, I'm going to work on getting more videos too as I go along. Now, what I'm trying to get you to do is to learn to train on your own. Now, some videos I don't have the whole system, like Okinawa Goju-Ryu Karate by Toru Chinin. I got volume 2, but I don't got the whole series. I need volume 1 and a few others. The same with this one here. I got the first one, but I don't have 2 and certain other ones. This is Fumio Tamura, but I do have all his Shido-Ryu videos. And I took Chida-Ryu from Cliff Young. Now, again, the style on the tape is more, teaches me more than Cliff did back in the 80s when I went out to his dojo from, let's say, 85 to 87. But anyway, part of this is to teach you how to deal with different styles of martial artists you come across as well. Because no two fighters fight alike either, and you don't know what background in the martial arts they have as well. But anyway, the reason for this isn't to attack someone. And the reason for this is to learn to defend yourself to where you can fight someone off who's attacking you. Now, some might say, did Jesus say, resist not the evil they will do unto you? Well, the key word is they, and if I'm reading it right. Now, if it's one-on-one, you should be able to defend yourself, maybe two-on-one. But if it's a they, and there ain't much you can do about it, right? Right. Let's see where it is. I think it's chapter 5. Yeah. Well, the actual passage says, I was a little off. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. Alright, let's start at verse 20, chapter 5. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard it that it was said of them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remember that your brother has aught against you. Leave there your gifts before the altar, and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gifts. Agree with your adversary quickly while you are in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary delivering thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. You wonder why I agree I could have molested my stepdaughter? That's why. I can't prove to these dumbasses I didn't, and Jesus told me to agree with them if they said I did, and that's why I'm pretending to tell them The only thing I could have did that night was a brief encounter anyway. But I'm making it up too, which I'm also explaining to them, because Jesus said here to agree with them. Verily I say unto thee, verily I say unto you, you shall by no means come out thence till you have paid the uttermost dollar. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if your right eye offend you, pluck it out and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. And if your right hand offend you, cut it off and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, commits adultery. Again ye have heard it. Again you have heard, you all, ye is plural. Again you all have heard that it has been said by them of old time, you shall not forswear yourself, but shall perform unto the Lord your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King, neither shalt thou swear by your head, because you canst not make one hair white or black or brown. But let your communications be yes, yes, no, no, for whatsoever is more than these comes of evil. Ye have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye shall not, that ye resist not evil. That whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away your coat, let him have your cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him too. Give to him that asks thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not you away. Ye have heard, or you all have heard, that it has been said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? Or the sinners in Jewish eyes? And if ye salute your brothers only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so, or sinners? But be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. See, I can't prove to someone accusing me 10 years after I divorced my wife, or 9 years, that anything happened between me and the stepdaughter one way or the other, because there's no evidence after such a long time. But Jesus did say, if they accuse you, agree with them quickly, and say, sure, if she came in there to me while I was sleeping on the couch, something might could have happened. But if she were to, I would try to do the right thing anyway, because again, I would be sleeping and she would be coming in there to me. Not me going in there to entice her to come in there to me. And the reason for this is simply the fact that she was sleeping with her mother before I moved back to base, because we got into a fight. Now, when you tell a story, of course, some people can take it literally when you mean it as a joke. Too. Now, I was telling an autobiography on a bunch of blogs when all that happened. But the problem is, there's no proof one way or the other to prove anything is true or false. Now, if you ask me, Shane, do you feel a sexual attraction towards men? I will say, like Jesus said, no. I do not. Now, if you ask me, do I feel a sexual attraction towards women? I will say, yes, I do. That is all I can answer you according to what Jesus just taught me. Now, if you want to attack me afterwards, and I'm not to resist the evil that you will do to me, or there's more than one, there ain't much I can do about it anyway. But you'll wind up beating me half to death. I don't know. Hypothetically. Now, I can't change what I knew before I got into the Navy as well. I did know that I was in a car accident, and that my mother and stepdad showed me the place where the car was at after the accident. And when I saw the car, I saw the whole front end was smashed all the way up to the wheel basin. And by that, and the fact that I had scars in my hand and my left eyebrow was shaved off and stuff like that, I believed not only that I was in the car accident, but also that I survived it somehow. Now, anything beyond that didn't cross my mind. I was also told that my stepbrother was somehow uninjured in the car accident, and I accepted that too and didn't question it until after the Navy. And then in the Navy, after I was legally separating from my wife, I fell 3 stories. And again. That's what happened there. And I blacked out there too, like in the car accident. And again, the last thing I remember is being on the 3rd floor of the barracks, being locked out of my room, and trying to get into the room by normal means after someone had stolen my key. And when they got into the room the next morning, they found the key, but no money. Because I also took out $250. So that says to me, either security was crooked and took the money when they got in the next morning and lied about not finding it, or someone stole it that night and again gotten money. I can't tell you who did what. Because again, those are the only 2 people who could have gotten into the room. Right. Either someone stole the key that night and got in and found the money, or somehow knew the money was in there through security and took the money. That's the only 2 ways it could have happened. or when they got in, they found the money and took it anyway. Those are the only possibilities there. And, like I said. But of course, anyone going into the room and seeing the money, either way wouldn't know the money was there, right? Whether I talked about it the night before or not. That would be irrelevant. But the point is, though, one would involve security and one would involve someone actually stealing the key that the night the fall happened. I know. Now, which one of the two stories is true, I do not know. It's a hypothesis. I cannot prove one way or the other that whoever took the key or didn't take the key, whoever took the money or didn't took the money, took it or not. I don't know who that would have been. It could have been two people. Two possibilities. But since I blacked out after I let go of the roof and woke up in the emergency room, I cannot tell you what happened between the period I blacked out and the period I woke up in the emergency room, except to tell you I woke up in the emergency room. Whatever happened after that period, I have no memory of it. And all that means is if I was injured in the fall and knocked out, I don't remember, or if I was physically attacked after the fall within, say, the same amount of time it took me to wreck the car. I don't know. Or longer. And I can't prove one way or the other what happened if I blacked out, only speculate. Unless there are other witnesses who want to tell me something else happened. And if they then do, I can again do something about it. If they don't, I cannot. And because only the people who were involved, either way, who found me at the back of the barracks, which is where they said they found me, and got me to the hospital after that. And or if I went around to the front of the barracks and we got into an argument over how I landed the barracks, or if I called someone else like my wife or maybe Pastor Thomas. I don't know. But other than that, I don't know what else I would have done in that situation either. Now, another possibility is, let's say, Pastor Davis, instead of being a bad guy, was trying to weed out homosexuals in the Navy. Now, we all know that homosexuals behave differently than heterosexuals. And he started what he called a eunuchship program. And in that program, you could masturbate with another brother. Now, I never did so. And I did have a few brothers to want to get into the shower with me, and I politely declined. Or want to do it with me, but I politely played asleep. But I never went through with it either. Now, Pastor Davis did touch my butt, but I didn't respond to that either. I just walked away. Now, the reason I didn't attack him physically is he's the pastor of the church, and I felt like I was being either tested by him to see if I would respond to him sexually, or he was sexually harassing me, one or the other. Now, when you're being sexually harassed or tested, you don't know which is which until the person confirms what they were doing one way or the other. Now, if he died in prison in 99, I can't prove or disprove that either. But again, I have seen people who look similar to him, but he has a general appearance of almost any middle-aged white person with blonde hair and white hair and blue eyes. Who's a little overweight. And people can even look like him. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, when Pastor Davis was discovered to be doing this with young sailors in the Navy, he got exposed by 2020 as well. Now, I don't know if he had some obscure reason for doing this. Like he was trying to fish for homosexuals to get them dishonorably discharged from the Navy, maybe. I don't know. Because if so, that's sort of entrapment anyway, Pastor Davis. I would say do there. Because again, the actual crime is sodomy and not masturbation, not even masturbating together. And if you have to sort of talk them into it or bully them into it or test them if they're gay or something, which is what you seem to be doing with me. And see, I didn't respond. I just sort of stood there, froze, and didn't know what to do. Didn't get a boner or anything. I just stood still, and then when he let me go, I walked away quickly, as if I didn't want him to touch me again. Right. And that's all that happened. Now, I don't know if I passed his test or failed it. I don't know. Because, again, I just continued until I finished my A school. And then I joined the church in Norfolk and went on with from the experience and just tried to put it behind me. Now, had he done more than that, like try to grab my balls, then we would have had a problem. But since he sort of put his arm sort of, not quite, sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but, he put his hand down here like this, basically, and patted my butt, but in the center, and, something like that. I think he was trying to tap my hole and see if I would respond, but I didn't. And now, of course, I don't know much about gay dating, but I know about heterosexual dating. And I dated girls, and I would go to the dances with the girls, and when I would slow dance with the girls, I would naturally get a hard on, or what's called a boner. Which, if you're gay, I guess you don't do that. I don't know. I heard the guy from NSYNC and said when he was dating the girl from Boy Meets World that he was dancing with her, but he didn't feel excited to be with her, and I didn't get hard on. And I guess if he did that, he is homosexual, and I respect his feelings on that. I cannot make him not when he danced with her respond to her. But I can tell if I was to dance with her, I would get a boner. But she would never dance with me because I don't even know. Right. That's part of the point. Now, generally, you can do that with any girl as well if you're heterosexual. But I guess the same is true with homosexual and men. Homosexuals will get a hard-on with men versus girls. And if you're bi, you could get a hard-on with either. Of course. And that's the third possibility. Now, I was also hearing about some sailors who were actually doing anal sex with each other, too, in the military. Now, again, I hope that wouldn't escalate into any problem, because I had just been married for the last 6 months, and I had broken up with my wife because she left me stranded in Tennessee, and it had nothing to do with sexual incompatibility, but more that she left me stranded in Tennessee anyway. And nothing sexually happened between me and my stepdaughter at all. And again, if they were to question me, that's what I would say. And anyway, I would also explain to them I was sleeping on the couch anyway. What, she came in there to me and put her vagina in my face and woke me up and stuff like that. Because that's logical. See, if my wife and stepdaughter are sleeping in the bedroom and I'm sleeping on the couch because my wife left me stranded in Tennessee, I'm not going to be looking for either one of them, mother or daughter, to bother me while I'm sleeping on the couch, because I'm sleeping on the couch because my wife left me stranded in Tennessee. It's not to get any more problems than I already had. And if your wife leaves you stranded in Tennessee and you don't know clearly why, you need to just say, okay, this might be a deal breaker. I need to move back to base or something, and then make arrangements to do so. That's all I would have done if that situation was to arise. And that's all I'm saying I would have done. Now, the reason I'm agreeing with them is I cannot prove either way, after 10 years of divorce, to them anything I'm saying is true. all I can tell them is I was sleeping on the couch and she was sleeping in the bedroom with her mother. The only way something could have happened is if she came in there to me, woke me up. I would then have to ask her who showed her that and tell her mom legally because of what I know about pedophiles. And I would tell that to anyone either way. Not saying it happened or didn't happen either because I don't recall after 10 years either. Specific details like that, if it was that brief of an encounter. And even if it went a little more sexual than that also hypothetically, which the child would have had to have been more interactive with me as well and almost seem to consent. And if something more were to happen too. Meaning, if she were to do all that, that would indicate not only was she being sexually aggressive with me, because the first one can sort of be explained as she might have been trying to wake me up or something. No real big deal, but if she was in there with me, well, she's not supposed to be in there with me, and I just have to ask her sort of liberally, who showed you that? And the point is, who showed you to come in there with me and wake me up that way? And you're not supposed to do that, right? Right. You're supposed to be in there with your mom. What's going on? What's going on? And after that, I would then go in there to ask her who showed her that, because that's the first thing you have to do. And say she's named Grandma, because he was living with her for 2 years. Then I would have to go in there and say, Daphne, your child came in there to me. She told me that her grandma showed her to do that and put her vagina in my face. And she's not supposed to do that with me. What's going on? What's going on? And we would talk about it. And of course, she might be upset that she blamed the grandma, logically. And of course, I would be upset that she put her vagina in my face a little bit, and we would talk it out. Now, since we all watch TV, she might would say, well, maybe she learned it from TV or something like that, hypothetically. Because, I'm sure the girl like me and you and everyone else grew up watching TV. And of course, I can't say that wasn't one of the reasons she came in there or not. Though I don't know if she knows how to turn on the TV. Maybe she just wanted me to turn on the TV. What did I know? And of course, I wouldn't argue with that either. It's that particular. But like I said, I can't prove any of this. Neither can the girl, because she's only 4. Neither can my wife, unless I'm saying exactly what I told her happened that night. Which again, I'm guessing that, because I don't remember anything. And when the Garden City Police Department asked her, she said nothing happened herself. It never happened. And also recently on the video, she confirmed that the other story I told about putting my penis or licking her vagina wouldn't happen either, because that's not part of my personality. And to even do that. Now I only recorded a certain part of the conversation, and I'm pretty sure I told her I was recording, but somehow that got off my computer. But I still got the computer, but it's broken now on Daphne. But again, I can always get it fixed. And if someone somehow tried to erase that part of the footage, who had control of my computer at the time, which I've been pointing out that a while back I sort of went to a bad site where they wanted to take control of my computer. Maybe they did. And if they still have control over it, I just show them my ass and walk around naked to fuck with them. I don't care. I'm a disabled veteran, honorably discharged for medical purposes, including a 3-story fall and paranoid schizophrenia. And I can't make that up either. That's why, if you want to know about me, go to all my videos on YouTube, even the dumbasses who took over my camera or my computer, or have control over my internet. Now, the reason I know this could have happened is because of the novel by Orwell, 1984, in which the government started installing devices to watch their populace and record what they were doing. It's also was adapted into a new screenplay called The Circle recently, which starred Tom Hanks and the girl from Harry Potter, Emma Watson, which I've seen both movies and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm an avid movie watcher as well, so I could make up any story you want me to on YouTube. Quite literally. And yet, you can't prove it either after 22 years. That's the point. But all I'm doing is what Jesus said, is I'm trying to agree with them because they won't stop arguing with me, but I'm also trying to explain my situation, and none of it makes sense, and I'm just trying to figure out what happened. If anything at all happened. Now, unless you have a video of what happened, we're just arguing about semantics anyway, or you have DNA, I licked their vagina, or DNA, we had sex. Other than that, we're just talking crap. And even if the girl and the mother, say 22 years later, were to both come together and say I molested her, the problem is time. You have to prove I was aware enough to be able to resist something like that anyway, which you can't do, since my wife knew I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and should have at least locked the door and made sure that the girl didn't come in there at all. That would sort of be on her if she didn't. If she were to come in there to me, did she wake me up, or did we interact sexually or not? C, if we did, was the wife awake or asleep when she did so? And then, finally, was it entrapment? Was it something to get me into trouble or not as well? When I normally would have been confused about my wife's behavior anyway, for leaving me stranded in Tennessee in the first place. And then for the stepdaughter to come in there would have only confused me more momentarily, and then I would try to deal with the situation the best I could, right? Depending on how far she came in there to me. If I even remember the encounter after 10 to 22 years. That's the whole point about blackmail in the Navy. And trying to set someone up for something they don't normally do, and doing so at a vulnerable time in their sleep cycle too. To where they wouldn't even be sure if something were to happen, whether it was a dream or not either. Again, hypothetically, if something that weird were to occur in the middle of the night, shortly after they fell asleep on the couch. When the wife and daughter went to bed, probably earlier than him anyway, and then he himself went to bed. Anything more afterwards would either seem like entrapment, or the child voluntarily came in there to me anyway. If she voluntarily came in there to me, my job as the stepdad is to ask her first who showed her that, and second, bring her back in there to her mom when she does. That's all I'm saying I would do, and by agreeing with them, that's what I'm saying I did. Hypothetically. Now, when you put me on trial, if you're a prosecutor, or an assistant prosecutor, or an assistant DA, or a deputy DA, whatever you are, you have to look at the rules of the time too. Now, it's not simple black and white there either. Because again, the wife knew certain things that should have prevented the child from even being able to go in there to me, and the mother should have prepped the child that I was disabled and schizophrenic, and not to go in there to me. Why wouldn't she have done that on the way down? Then she was with the stepdad, the biological dad, not me first, after she got home from Arkansas to see her biological dad, because she hadn't seen him since she moved to Arkansas with her grandparents, right? Now, who would have dibs on seeing the girl first? me or their biological dad. The biological dad, right. He would want to see her as soon as she got back anyway, because he hadn't seen his daughter since she moved to Arkansas with the grandparents. So who else could have been involved with that before the child even got to me but a bunch of people on the way back, including the grandparents, 2 years, the wife on the trip back, then the dad and girlfriend, until she finally met me. Now that's just a chain of events I remember happening until I can move back to base. And I don't know quite how long that took, because I don't have a day or a time in my memory when that could have even occurred. So I don't know what more I can tell you logically that I sort of recall happening other than that. And that proves nothing unless you were trying to entrap me and have a video but never showed it to me. And again, that's hypothetically after 10 years of not even talking about it once with my wife or the child herself. So again, how can all of a sudden I get on YouTube and start teaching? Well, first I started singing and doing impersonations and a cappella versions of songs I used to listen to on the radio. Now, they were a cappella versions for two reasons. One, I was trying to do an impersonation of the whole song and just the vocals of the artist. And sometimes I would throw in the guitar, but in order to do that, I had to go from singing to impersonating the music of the instrument, like the guitar. But that was still done with my vocal voice. It was not in direct use of the track itself at all. I did not edit it from my voice to the original artist's voice either. I sung it clearly. No editing, no use of the copyrighted track at all. Only singing with unison in the singer's voice, period. Now, after that was going on for a while, someone might have started reading my blogs, I guess, and noted how me and my wife got into a fight, and I was sleeping on the couch, and the girl and the daughter was sleeping in the bedroom, and I said I could have molested her but didn't. And that was because by the time I started trying to get on disability, which is 2 years after I was discharged, I felt like the VA was cheating me out of my disability money because I got confused with civilian accidents versus naval accidents. Now, when you're injured in the civilian world, you have like 2 years in which you can file a dispute that you were injured and couldn't work anymore or function normally. Well, that didn't happen after the car accident. I just went back to my normal things and didn't join the Navy until I was 19. Now 19 going on 20. Now I didn't get in fully until February 19th or February 20th, 1990. Though I started the process back in the summer of '89. By then I was 3 years out the hospital before I even attempted to join the Navy. Right. Then I went into the Navy and did my sleep study because I started having sleeping problems after I got into the Navy and started going out to the Christian Fellowship Church, and also the Persian Gulf conflict was going on at the same time too. So now again, I was doing everything normally and at the correct pace as well. And I was fulfilling my obligations as a naval enlisted man should. I was going through boot camp normally. I was going through A school normally. And except for my involvement with Christian Fellowship Church, that was the only difference, and then the Persian Gulf War happened and stuff like that, and our conflict, and the first one with George Herbert. So anyway, I continued going to the military. Now, when Pastor Thomas told me no, I wasn't one of the two witnesses, I said, okay, forget this, then I'm going to find me a girlfriend or a wife. And I started trying to find a woman to marry me. I gave it up, I guess like David did. I don't know. Because he was anointed as king of Israel, but Saul was still king, and he would never take the kingdom by force. Nor could I take anything Pastor Davis or Pastor Thomas already built, because it was their ministry. And Pastor Thomas said I needed my own message anyway. So that's when I quit going up to his church and started trying to find me a girlfriend. And then I finally had met my first one-night stand, which was a girl I met at a cousin's party named Shay Lee, who lived in Bloomingdale with his dad Russell and older sister Tootie, and he had another older brother Rusty, and his dad was my dad's brother, Bobby Edward Lee. And again, that's how I knew Shay. So anyway, after Shay, I was at his birthday party or something like that, and there was a girl who was sort of doing a little striptease for us all, and we were sort of playing with her and touching her a little bit in her private parts, and she was sort of acting like a stripper. Well, me and her, as we were getting to know each other, decided to go off, and we went off to Midland Road and found a little secluded area where I could park the car, and we hopped into the back of the car, and it was kind of dark, no one was really around, so we just went ahead and had what's called a quickie, and we sort of fooled around a little bit after the quickie, and we decided to go back to the party, and on the way back we ran out of gas, and then some guy in the van stopped and again gave us a ride, and we got the gas, and we went on back to Shay's, and anyway, we continued on through the night, and anyway, that was it. And next morning I went back to my mom's, and she went on her way, and we never seen each other again. And that's how it was like with most of my relationships with females after that. Though each female I interacted with, and they interacted with me, and I would let them go rationally, or, some I would wonder if I got them pregnant or not, but it didn't really become an issue until one I met in '93, who was on another ship. And I liked her because we were both backslidden Christians who had become sexual because someone had molested both of us. And she was telling me her story, and I was telling her some of mine and stuff like that. And well, anyway, she told me that a family member was trying to do something with her he shouldn't have done, and I'm not going to say which family member, but it was similar to the Lot story, and that she was raised Pentecostal too, and since my pastor was a former Pentecostal, I thought maybe we could hit it off. So anyway, I started writing her, and she was writing back a little bit too, and stuff like that. Well, the thing is, I was having problems with my shipmates from day one. Mainly because one of them got electrocuted, and I was down there watching the whole thing, and of course, the guy looked at me before he touched the bus, and that's when he got electrocuted. Now, what would you think if the whole time you were on the ship, no one wanted to work with you, no one wanted to train you, and you only had a school, but no hands-on experience working with electrical wires or electrical equipment? Now, you could inspect the electrical equipment, but you wouldn't even know what you were looking for unless there was a diagram showing you what the object actually looked like with a picture next to it or something. Now, like with the fan job I just did, the reason I was able to do it is I had proper instructions as well as memory from what I learned in A school on that. Now, they did have books in E Division in the Motor Rewind Motor Rewind shop, which was the main shop for E Division. After muster on the decks, we would then go down there. And that's the point there. Now, again, sometimes I would get favorable treatment. My dad was murdered in 1981, July 14th. And he was buried around the same time. Well, because of that, my granddad died from cancer, and the commander on the ship, because he was my closest relative, let me go home for leave and go to the funeral. Well, again, my shipmates might have seen that as preferential treatment, even though I had 2.7 evals. I don't know. Also, whenever I was out of the division, I worked better than when I was in the division, but they didn't want to see that as their fault, but mine. Because again, they never asked me what kind of prior experience do you have in electrical work, which I would have told them 0, zilch, none. The whole time I was on the ship. That means even if King and the other guy who hung the red tag were claiming I turned on the breaker or something like that, I wouldn't even know which breaker, unless he had already hung the red tag to begin with, to turn on. Now, if he's doing it properly, first he signs it, and then he gets another person to verify it. Anyway, I think. But, King was behind the breaker when he touched it. And shouldn't he have gotten King as soon as he came down with the red tag to sign the thing and then work on the breaker, right? Know what I mean? Then work on the bus. Now what happened was when I stuck my head around the corner, King, for some reason, touched the bus, got electrocuted, and fell to the floor. Well, I'm not even qualified to sign off on the red tags yet. I had no experience on the ship. Now, I might have been told about them and what to do with them. But I'm still not red tag qualified until after scullery duty, kitchen duty, or galley duty, which is part of the assignment when you get to the ship. It's also when you get to your A school, you go to the kitchen or gallery on base for a few months, and then you go to your ship. Well, when you're doing that, they put you in what's called Snipes Castle for about 2 months as well. And then you are put into your A school after that. Now, even during boot camp, at the end of it, you go and do kitchen duty. Right. Now, during my time in boot camp, I was talking to one of the Catholic priests, and he flat out asked me if I was homosexual, and I told him that. Again. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. That's what Jesus said. Now, when I started being accused, again, that's different than someone flat out asking you, did you do something? Do you feel this way? Right. They were acting like they had proof I had done it, right? And I had no way to disprove it one way or the other. So I said, okay, and under what circumstances would I have done it? I started agreeing with them because I didn't know for sure what they were even talking about. Like Jesus said, if someone starts accusing you of doing something and you don't know what it is you did, agree with them. Because you can't prove to them one way or the other if anything happened or not. And you don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And that'll work itself out if you didn't. Or if you did, were they trying to entrap you into it and you don't have no clear memory of it either. That can happen as well. That's called memory loss over 10 years of time. And, as well. That would be natural, even if you did have a brief encounter somewhat with your stepdaughter in the middle of the night, and after you went to sleep. And, now, it might seem to them like I'm trying to skirt the issue, but either that or I'm not sure if anything happened at all. Now, the only other person who should have even had a clue would have been who? My ex-wife and the girl herself. Two witnesses, again, against one, sleeping on the couch. Of course, after all this time, my ex-wife could be pissed off with me, too. And the stepdaughter too. It's not that I'm proving anything I'm saying is true. I'm just talking hypothetically and treating it like a mock trial, like I've seen on Perry Mason or Matlock or a show like that, or a Law and Order. The police and trial show, and what they would do is they'll show you in that show the procedures of both the police department who arrested the criminal and then the trial phase after the criminal was arrested. And that's what I'm talking about here now too. And things I've seen on Law and Order or Perry Mason or Matlock. And these are shows I used to watch. Why can't you understand that? That's all I'm doing. That's all you're doing. Fictionally too. To my memory. Based upon hypothetical situations and somewhat real situations, but never, in my memory, having any sexual contact with the child, unless the child was being aggressive with me, which if I was sleeping on the couch, would be in that situation anyway. The child was being aggressive with me when I was asleep on the couch. She's not supposed to do that. At all. That is not normal childhood behavior. That's the point. That's the point. No child of any age from 0 to 18 in Virginia can approach their stepdad sleeping on the couch for sex. And if she does, even if they interact a little bit, the stepdad has to ask her who showed her that. If she names someone, that person may have had some sort of influence on her and not him. And then he would have to tell the mom as she was sleeping, hopefully, and wake her up, right? That's all I know to do. Because I have been taught through Oprah and Dr. Phil and Sally Jesse Raphael and 2020 and shows like that, that pedophiles were real. And I also experienced somewhat of a dilemma in Bible camp and stuff like that. Now, of course, they don't want you to talk about it either. So that would be very confusing either way. So again, I'm treating it like a mock trial, a fake trial, a jury trial, and all that, based upon what? TV. And this is supposed to be an entertainment channel with freedom of speech, and that's it. So what else can I do? Alright, it's about 9:48 p.m. About time to go to bed. So got a few more things to do. Gonna get something to drink, a little thirsty. And that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, y'all have a nice day and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.